For my capital budgeting, I chose to do scenario A, which has a flat available capital and 0% EBITDA carryover. From the time of 2009 to current, so 5 years, I had a company APV of 559.24. In 2009, I had a revenue of 245, operating income of 22, and net income of 13. And currently, I have a revenue of 415, operating income of 50, and a net income of 30. And as you can see, between those two and the previous, it has increased each year to get the results I have now. The biggest contributor to that, if you look here, was retail, then production, and the smallest was licensing. These are the project updates I chose. So let's take a look at those. There is a reason I chose each one more based on what they were than the actual NPV, IRR, etc., the financial numbers. As you can see, I chose the most in 2011 and 2012 with choosing 4. You don't want to start off choosing a lot, nor do you want to finish choosing a lot. It's just a good way to lose money. You want to start off slowly to build money, and you don't want to have a lot of expenses at the end as well by spending a lot. So we go back to project details. Actually, let's go to this side for a moment. And it is not showing me. Okay. Analyze project details. Basically, how I did this was, it's not going to show me. Okay. There is usually a sheet projection in this corner, and if you click on that, it shows you what each of the available projects is listed under, either production, retail, or licensing. And the way I narrowed it down, or my system, was choosing licensing mainly in the beginning so that I can build revenue with that, and then to proceed into production and finally finish off with revenue. Breaking that down, let's say we pick all accessory line. Looking at it, it has 0 2015 project cost, a payback period under 10, which was important for me to look at, and the lifetime project cost is less than the NPV, net present value, which was important. What else do we have? Let's look at a licensing one. The one starting off is the new golf home, so we'll look at that. It has a lifetime project cost of $350, which is less than the NPV, and outstanding IRR, internal rate of revenue, at 0.61%, and a small payback period. All are the main factors in which I looked at. Clicking on children's accessory line now. The lifetime project costs are more than the NPV, and it has a great payback period of more than 10 years. But at that time, with what I was offered, I believe this is production. So yeah, at that time with what I was offered, it had the best result because for the first year it had 0 expenses, which is good for short term because no matter how long the payback period, we're only looking at like the next 2 or 3 years and not a full 10 years. So that doesn't really affect us because there's always going to be a payback period unless it's under 5 years. Looking at the cash flow statement, it is producing all positive numbers, no negatives, which is good. And so is the ending cash balances. So at that time, this was the most profitable of choices. And next, what is next? After watching the intro video, I noticed you can change the project discount rate, which exponentially raises the NPV, the IRR, etc. However, that was difficult to kind of figure out because with doing so, I actually received my first negative APV on my first video. So, as that strategy worked for him, it did not work for me because I received my highest APV so far off what I have used as a strategy, which is looking at the licensing, then production, then going into retail. Which once again gave me a APV of 559, which only increases each year, so in the years to come it'd be even higher. And that is my finance simulation capital budgeting video. Thank you.